Terraform state import, migrating existing AWS resources. Ever found yourself staring at a sprawling AWS infrastructure, wishing you managed it with Terraform from the start? Don't worry, you're not alone. This video will guide you through migrating existing AWS resources into Terraform, a common DevOps interview scenario. Imagine this. The interviewer leans forward and asks, we have a bunch of AWS resources. EC2 instances, S3 buckets, the whole shebang, that weren't initially managed by Terraform. How would you go about bringing them under Terraform's control? This question isn't just about knowing the Terraform import command. It's about understanding the process, the challenges, and the best practices for managing infrastructure as code. They want to see your thought process. The interviewer is looking for a structured approach. They want to see that you understand the importance of planning, testing, and minimizing risk. They also want to gauge your understanding of Terraform state management. They're assessing your ability to translate real-world scenarios into practical Terraform configurations. Can you articulate the steps involved and anticipate potential pitfalls? Show them you can. First, acknowledge the problem. Okay, so we have existing AWS resources that we want to manage with Terraform. The key is to do this safely and systematically. Next, outline your approach. My strategy would involve these steps: planning, creating Terraform configurations, importing resources, verifying the state, and testing the configuration. Before you touch anything, plan. First, I'd thoroughly document the existing infrastructure. This includes resource names, configurations, and dependencies. Then, I'd identify the resources we want to migrate to Terraform. Start small, maybe with a non-critical resource, to test the process. This shows you prioritize a safe, iterative approach. Now the code. Next, I'd create the Terraform configuration files that mirror the existing AWS resources. This is crucial for a successful import. Pay close attention to attributes like instance types, security groups, and tags. The configuration must accurately reflect the current state of the AWS resources. Use Terraform plan to validate your configuration. The moment of truth. Now, I'd use the Terraform import command to bring the AWS resources into the Terraform state. The syntax is Terraform import resource address resource side. For example, Terraform import AWS_instance example ixxxxxxxxxxxxxxxx. Be precise and demonstrate your understanding of the command. Double-check your work. After importing, I'd use Terraform show to inspect the Terraform state and ensure the resource attributes match the actual AWS resource. This step is critical for identifying any discrepancies and correcting them before moving forward. This shows attention to detail. Don't skip testing. Finally, I'd test the Terraform configuration by making a small change, like adding a tag, and then running Terraform apply. This verifies that Terraform can successfully manage the imported resource. If the change applies correctly, it confirms the import was successful. This demonstrates a commitment to quality. Be prepared for curveballs. One potential challenge is dealing with resources that have dependencies on other resources not yet managed by Terraform. In such cases, I'd either import the dependencies first or use data sources to reference them. Another challenge is handling resources with complex configurations. Thorough planning and testing are key. Emphasize best practices. Throughout the process, I'd adhere to Terraform best practices, such as using modules, version control, and remote state management. I'd also ensure proper access control and security measures are in place to protect the Terraform state. This showcases your understanding of operational considerations. Wrap it up concisely. In summary, migrating existing AWS resources to Terraform involves careful planning, accurate configuration, precise import commands, thorough verification, and rigorous testing. By following these steps, we can safely and effectively bring our infrastructure under Terraform's control. This leaves a strong, confident impression. Ready to master Terraform and ace your next DevOps interview? Subscribe to our channel for more in-depth tutorials, practical examples, and expert tips. Download our free Terraform cheat sheet using the link in the description below. And don't forget to leave a comment with your biggest Terraform challenges. We might just address them in our next video.